Went out tonight. Appreciate everyone coming. We're going to go ahead and get started real quick. First of all, just for just sort of an item of order. The plan is we're going to go through and let each individual make their presentation, and at the end of that, we will open it up for questions. And then at the end, we're going to have our roundtable discussion on the holiday planning. But we're going to begin tonight with Mr. Drew Elmore from Ballard Builders. He's going to give us a quick update on where everything's at in town.
I know a lot of faces out here. I don't know your names just from being out and here every day from daylight to dark, but as most of you can see, we got a pretty big project going out there, and I know it's a lot of inconvenience for a lot of the business owners, but we're trying as best as possible to make it as convenient for everybody as we can. And it's just a lot of growing pains. There's a lot of stuff out there, as y'all can see, going in the ground. I know a lot of people think we're crazy because we go up the street digging, and 2 days later we come back digging again. But we got a lot of utilities and stuff that can't be in conflict with one another and stuff like that. But as far as the project, overall project, it's moving really well. The underground, and what I'm calling the underground, is the new storm sewer, water mains, and sewer mains, is probably 90% complete, and in the next 2 weeks we'll be finishing it up. As far as the concrete work, as you can tell, the first 3 blocks are about complete, other than the decorative lighting and the landscaping and paving. We're up in front of Solid Gold Jewelers and the boot store now, and hopefully if the weather lets us this week, we'll be pretty close to complete with that block up to the courthouse corner. Our plans is to turn at the sports gallery and go toward, I think it's Loden's Furniture, is that it? And hopefully get that done before Thanksgiving. And then we'll come back and go back toward 43, toward the gift shop down there. I don't know the name of it. And Town Square Gifts. That's our plans there, to go up in front of those lawyers' office and have that complete. We're going to plan on, I know a lot of concern is the main intersection at the courthouse, because when we start in that intersection, it'll probably shut down for, I won't say at least 2 weeks to get it back into drivable shape. But our plans are before Thanksgiving to have the loadings done and then move on across the street and go to Town Square Gifts. But as far as cooperation with everybody's just been super throughout the whole process, and I know it's a lot of hardships on parking, because at times we've got 2 or 3 streets closed, and it's difficult, and everybody's just been super nice about it, and no complaints, and we've been real pleased with it, and we're pleased with the way the job's going. We're ahead of schedule. We can't get too excited because we're facing bad weather here in a couple of months. Anything can change in December and January, but other than that, that's all I've got. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you.
Anybody have any questions? Now's your opportunity. Anyone want to discuss what their plans are, if they're set in, no pun intended, set in stone, for the holidays, for the holiday shopping season?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask was, are we looking at December to keep working through? What's the advantage? Go ahead.
I would really like to, the way the project's moving forward. I know in the beginning we had some concerns. I think by the time the holiday, I'm saying holidays from Thanksgiving to Christmas, we're going to be a little further than what we actually anticipated in the beginning. I never dreamed we'd be to those main stores by this time already. I thought we'd maybe be back toward where the Western Auto was right there, where it's kind of lull. But as far as, we would love to continue working, just because we're staring bad weather in the face and all that. And we're getting to the point, like I say, the underground is probably 90% complete, and that's what really causes a lot of the trouble, is because we're up this street with a track hoe putting in water main, and we got it closed. And I think here in a couple more weeks, as far as that activity will be slowed down, and it'll be more concentrated to just one side of the street as far as concrete and curb and gutter and that kind of thing.
So so the underground stuff will be pretty much done by Thanksgiving in a sense. And
Yeah.
and then access into the stores will not be impeded that much except for maybe sidewalk work.
That's it, and we're doing everything we can, to keep access. We're keeping access at all times.
Right,
But naturally, there's one day that we're gonna have wet concrete in front of that store.
right.
And we're trying to cooperate with the the store owners as best as possible, to schedule to their time, we'll leave a section out so they close, or, we're working with them the best we can to make no hardships on them.
But the parking will, although it's not paved, there will be allowances to be able to park then in front of those stores and pretty much by the holiday season.
You will. You'll be parking on gravel, but as far as getting access to those stores, we're gonna do everything possible to get all the parking open, back up on that block.
When do you look at, since you're ahead, of course, we're still looking really about April, I guess, in case there's bad weather or?
Yeah, probably so. Well, just certain aspects of the job, like the landscaping, can't be done until April,
Yeah.
just little things like that. But as far as actual structures and light poles, they're set to hit the ground the 1st of January and stuff like that, other than just the last minute cosmetic things, we're a little ahead of schedule. But like I say, anything can change in January and February. There'll be a lot of days in those months that even though we've got something ready to pour, we can't. If the temperature's not 42 and rising, we can't put concrete on the ground. So.
You've not had many surprises then in terms of the work?
Oh, no, I'm sure. We hadn't. It's went pretty good. It has.
Drew, I've had several people ask me, but the intersection there at the Coffee Buzz and the lawyer's office and sports gallery, when you start the big concrete thing there, will you pretty much have the sidewalks done prior to that?
Yeah, we're gonna have it where pedestrians can go around the corners and access those businesses. We're gonna try to get those, and you'll see that this week because we're gonna be at the sports gallery toward the end of this week and probably the beginning of next week, and we're gonna try to tie these corners in and work our way around that intersection, and then come back and once we shut that intersection down, you'll still be able to access around those corners because the sidewalks are pretty much be in place.
So will most of the sidewalks be done before y'all even start that middle part?
Yes, sir. Yeah. It will. Everything that intersection, as far as drainage, we'll have to get all our exterior corners laid out and our elevations before we, put that middle intersection to grade.
Any idea when that 2-week stretch is gonna be, ballpark?
I don't know. I really don't. It's just hard for me to say yet.
But the temperature will have to be a certain.
Yeah, the temperature's gonna play a major role, in January and February as far as us putting concrete on the ground. That would be one thing that, like I said, we're as far as scheduling, we're good now, but,
And then the repaving then.
the repaving will be in the spring.
One thing I've heard about that concrete plaza on the north end, the south end in front of the school, y'all learned a lot from that it might make it go a little quicker than.
Yeah, we did, and we were just getting our feet wet on the layout of the job and all that, and it'll definitely go well. You can see the progression, how it's sped up as we've come up the street.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Anybody got anything else? Suggestions, comments?
Is anything gonna be coming up, what is there by our shop, that third street, second street,
3rd Street.
third street? So water's piling up there on the 4 lane and where you turn in between our
First
building
State
and the
Bank.
First State Bank. Is that anything gonna
Lawson
be
shop.
later on?
Third Street next to the 4 lane?
It's third
That
avenue.
tied in there? I don't know if there's something wrong with them drains that's on the street or what, but that, we turn off the 4 lane onto the 3rd Street there, it's on heavy rain, it's 4 or 5 inches right there. Cars are gonna drive through.
Is it building at the corner? On the 4 lane? Next to the 4 lane?
It's getting deep enough where it's coming out in the outside lane.
That falls into the DOT's
I
jurisdiction.
didn't know if that don't tie in with what y'all doing as far as the draining.
No, it doesn't.
Different, a little different.
Different.
Well, we know who to call now.
Yeah, call DOT.
Yeah. And that, hey, that's part of what we're doing tonight, figuring out, you know, who needs to
Making
go
the
in what
drains
direction.
like, trash.
Okay. Anybody got anything else?
Can we go forward?
We can go forward.
Thank you, and I appreciate everybody being so cooperative. It's really making the job go a lot better, and I know there'll be times y'all want to come out there and strangle us, but like I said, we're doing all we can to keep it moving in an orderly fashion and keep the hardships off everybody, so thank you.
Thank you. Kurt, you have anything you want to add tonight? I know you just got, just literally blown in, but yeah.
I can't turn down the microphone, right?
It's all right.
Drew got to talk to the microphone, don't I get to? All right, well, I don't know what all Drew covered, because I just flew in from,
I lay all the blame on you.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
all right,
it's all.
it's all my fault.
Exactly.
That's right. It was interesting, and I don't know how many of you were able to see, when they did pull the old pipes up, I know why your water was backing up. You know, we pulled up a 15-inch pipe up next to the sports gallery, and 8 or 9 inches of the 15 inches was full of silt and sand. So the pipe was only, you know, flowing 4, 5, 6 inches of water. So there was, you know, quote a phrase, there's your problem. So we've eliminated that now with the new pipes that we've put in. And once the whole thing gets through and everything gets flowing in the right direction, you know, I think those issues in that area and all throughout up and down the street are going to go away, and we're excited about that. Hopefully you've seen our bulb outs at the corners, and you can see as we're progressing up what that's going to, hopefully you can envision what that's going to be as it moves further up the street. Looking forward to wires going away. I know Alabama Power's pulled a couple of poles already, and I was down here the other day and somebody stopped me and said, you know, if you didn't do anything but get rid of the overhead wires, it'd be an improvement. So, you know, we're excited that those are getting moved. As Drew said, they are a little bit ahead of schedule currently, which is great. The weather has been very cooperative with us to this point. Hopefully it will continue, but that is one thing that we don't have a control over. You know, there could come a time when, you know, the rain shuts us down and things slow down and don't get to move as fast, but we'll, I know Drew and Stencil and the whole Ballard crew has been pushing pretty hard to get as much done as they can while the days are nice. So we appreciate their efforts, and I want to echo what he said. I appreciate all of you working with him and with us and with the city. I know that this is probably a difficult situation to get through at times with the bumpy roads and some gravel through town, but the end result, I think you're going to be really, really, really pleased with the end result, and we'll have a beautiful downtown that we can do lots of things in. So looking forward to that. Any questions that I can answer that you hadn't already drew in?
You've been made obsolete.
Yeah.
Works for me.
Thank you. And I would like to say, I would like to thank Kurt. I know he's been working with the mayor and me to make sure to get weekly reports on sort of what's coming up, and I know that's in conjunction with Ballard, but that has been very helpful, and we've had a lot of positive comments on that, and it just gives everyone an idea of what's upcoming, and just lets you plan ahead for, you know, making adjustments to send customers to a different door, or just letting your customers know. So, okay, at this time, we're going to shift gears slightly. Again, we're talking downtown revitalization, but Nathan Willingham and I had a conversation, I guess 2 or 3 weeks ago, talking about some of the possibilities of grants or programs that might could help our business owners, our property owners in downtown. So at this time, I'm just going to turn it over to him and let him take that and go with it.
Thank you. Microphone's a little louder than I'm used to. Anybody who's a fan of the A-Team growing up has heard the phrase, I love it when a plan comes together. About 18 months ago, we put the finishing touches on a document that we worked with the city on, which was the downtown revitalization plan for the city of Hamilton. And that was really the first step to get going what had been talked about for a very long time throughout the city. I'm not standing too close to a receiver. I'll stand over here and maybe not squeal at you so much. That was really the first step to get going on a process, a long-term process that had been talked about for a very long time by the city. When we did this revitalization plan, we worked through a planning process that took about 9 months to complete. We got a lot of input from a lot of people. And we came up with 54 ideas that we put down on paper. And we sort of arranged those ideas by how much they would cost and how long we thought it would take to get them done. And completely blowing up downtown Hamilton was really at the top of the list. Actually, that was about step 3. The demolition project and the reconstruction that's going on now followed the streetscape design, which was done by GMC. I think there was a consultant involved who said something to the effect of, if you accomplish even a tenth of what y'all are setting out to accomplish in this, you will have done something. And I think he's sitting in the back of the room, actually. And the city has done a great deal of what was initially laid out in that streetscape design plan. But step 2, after completing the document, was to come up with this streetscape plan. What's it going to look like when it's finished? Step 3 was scrounging up the money, which the city council was able to do. And then the final part of it is what you see going on right now, which is the construction of what's known as Phase 1. We call it Phase 1. We don't have a clue what Phase 2 looks like just yet, but if it's anything like Phase 1, we know that it's going to look good when it's finished. And we know that if we have as much good fortune with further improvements or further activities as we had so far with construction, that we'll really have a great thing going in downtown Hamilton. So since it's a chamber meeting, a couple of things that I wanted to touch on that just are pulled directly out of the downtown revitalization plan have to do with the next steps. After we've kind of passed the hurdle of the major construction and the streetscape is looking great and it's usable, much more functional than it was beforehand, and folks can get in and out of it more conveniently, parking is somewhat improved. What are some of the things that the various partners that are involved, and in particular the Chamber of Commerce, will, according to the plan, be talking about, looking at, going forward? And so it's always good to check ourselves, to take a few actions, take a step back, see where we are, and make sure that we're on a valid path after we've set out to do something, after we've made a few accomplishments. So, of course, the Chamber is, and I paraphrase, I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth, but the Chamber is really responsible for enhancement of the business environment, the business climate citywide. Downtown revitalization is just a smaller portion of that. But to that effect, the Chamber has a great role to play in being an open door to the public and to outside entities that want to view the city of Hamilton, that want to get an idea of what business is like in the city of Hamilton and what their opportunities are. And then finally, to help to establish new businesses and, of course, to retain the ones that we've got. So one of the things that will be crucial in downtown going forward is a healthy business recruitment and expansion program for the City of Hamilton's Chamber of Commerce. And then naturally, one of the things that's most important to the retail merchants downtown is promotion, getting people to come downtown, getting people to shop, to visit the area. We talk a lot in downtown revitalization planning about getting people comfortable and accustomed to coming downtown to do their shopping. And then we also complain a lot about parking issues in downtown. At the same time, somebody will walk 3/4 of a mile from one end of a Walmart parking lot to the front door. They won't park at the end of the block in downtown. So getting people comfortable with the arrangement of stores, with the variety of goods that are downtown, with the friendliness of the merchants, and the fact that downtown shopping is an experience that is unlike anything else, and that is an experience that has benefits that are much amplified in the greater community, is something that is a long-term goal of the downtown organization, the city, the Chamber of Commerce. And then also coming up, some of the things that we discussed were partnering with the Chamber of Commerce to visit some of the more successful downtowns in the surrounding area. A lot of times we can learn by example, since there is indeed nothing new under the sun. We can see how others have attained success in various aspects of downtown development, and we can pursue those. To the ends of recruiting businesses, inventorying the existing properties that are available, learning the aspects of the buildings that are most marketable for different purposes, and beginning to plan out the storefronts that are available so that you get a good mix of downtown experience, a good mix of retail, shopping, and service. And then finally, promoting festivals and events and increasing the number of hours that downtown is active into the nights and weekends is also an important goal of the overall revitalization process. It's one of those things that if you have business churning throughout the hours, not just between 9 and 5, it's that much more activity that's in the downtown area, it's that much more people who are likely to come, given work schedules, given other constraints. And it's just that much more of an economic engine for the downtown area to become. Marla had asked me to come this evening to kind of talk with and answer any questions that you might have regarding what sort of programs there might be out there to support downtown business expansion, to improve the business environment, both while businesses are being affected by the ongoing construction activities, as well as ongoing to set things up in the future. And unfortunately, I don't have any answers, because the answers to that kind of question are all going to be locally driven. And they're going to be driven primarily by what it is that the merchants want and what they, the chamber, and the other partners that are involved in potentially setting up support networks and support programs for local businesses, they can collectively bring to the table. Now, some of the things that Marla and I did discuss were things such as bridge loans, local temporary financing, either through local banks or local bridge financing programs. We, at our agency, operate a revolving loan fund that is primarily driven by job creation and private industry investment, but that doesn't preclude other revolving loan funds or loan pools that are established collectively by private investors, public funds, should some be available, local banks, and so forth, that can provide for some support for local operating capital as a bridge loan, so to speak, to kind of get from here to some point in the future, maybe better. One of the other things that we discussed were signage and facade improvements. And several communities that I'm aware of have established pools of resources either for grants or for loans. These pools are usually derived through fundraising activities that are then matched against other sources, usually local public finance. They can be used they are used most frequently to invest in store frontages and the facades, the things that are visible outwardly to the public, not necessarily in the business itself, but in the area that's within the visible public space that is more durable. It's not necessarily tied to the type of business activity that takes place in the building, but that improves the overall quality and condition of the downtown area and improves the business climate for all of the merchants in the area, as well as the visitor experience for the folks that are coming to the downtown to shop. Those are just a couple of ideas. But I guess the bottom line is, in developing these sorts of activities, it really starts at the local level, because it's the needs of the merchants, not just in downtown, but across the city of Hamilton, that really drive the types of questions that get asked or the demands that are placed on program developers to come up with ideas for providing business support services. It's not all about public funds. The public funds in Hamilton have made a significant investment in the infrastructure and the public infrastructure that they own through the downtown revitalization. But it is about finding these fundraising techniques, approaching local institutions that may be willing to invest, and coming up with solutions that are durable improvements to the downtown area that are in addition or build upon the public investments that have been made in the streetscape to date. Really the key elements that we discussed throughout the entire planning process were the streetscape and public improvements, the things that go from the back of the sidewalk to the other back of the sidewalk, the utilities, the infrastructure, the ongoing activities that you see now. And then promotions, and the third thing being, or the third item being, the improvements to the building envelopes themselves, the structural integrity of the historic buildings downtown, the appearance and the character of those buildings. If you have those three things, you have an attractive public space, you have healthy and attractive buildings to house your businesses, and you have ongoing events and promotions that support your businesses downtown. Really, when you have all three of those things, you have a healthy downtown environment, and that really sets the stage for continued growth and redevelopment in your downtown. But I will be happy to answer any questions. I have brought some material I will loan out to Marla. It really, as you thumb through these things, these articles that are listed in here, in this idea exchange and Downtown Reporter, the thing that comes out through all of this research and all this journalism on downtown growth and development is how it is a partnership between those entities, public and private, that are interested in these, and how once a set of needs are developed and resources are assessed, then people can bring those resources, entities can bring those resources to the table and start to grow and develop these types of support networks.
Let me ask something to cut to the chase a little bit. I think some people have wondered or questioned whether there are grants available to help the businesses while they're down there.
No.
There are nothing set up. It's a structure now to help out.
No. There's no federal or state money that is designed to assist businesses. There are federal and state dollars that are designed to assist business development at a larger scale of investment in terms of creating hundreds of jobs and creating millions of dollars of private investment, but there is no direct investment that I'm aware of in downtown business. That's why I say it's entirely a locally derived process. And I won't speak to Hamilton's ability to provide a support network for public finance for any sort of local program that's ongoing, but it's very, very rare that any city is able to bring a grant-only program or a grant loan program to the table to support downtown businesses that's not also backed by institutional support from local banks or charitable contributions from fundraising activities of local nonprofits such as chambers and downtown organizations.
There's not any revolving loans or anything that's set up now that would also help out with that per se in this area.
It really depends on the scale. Most of the existing resources that are external are specifically designed to support jobs and private investment related to economic development that takes place at a, and I wouldn't even call it a low-hanging fruit scale, but at a large scale, at a scale that is regional or statewide or national in scope. And that's really, it sounds like it's all, gloom and doom for local businesses that in downtowns or just local businesses in general. But the truth is that, if a partnership is formed, relatively small investments for creditworthy businesses, they can reap big rewards in the short term for those that do wish to invest in either working capital or facade improvements. It really is a matter of getting the right people to the table and closely evaluating the business investment and the community value of those investments and targeting those investments to just like our RLF would or a bank would in conjunction with RLF to those that really do have a creditworthiness that they can repay, that they are healthy, that they will survive short-term dislocations from a large construction project, or they will successfully expand with a little infusion of additional what we call bridge capital.
But with the main thing right now, for the immediate need of these people, would probably center short-term on marketing various things to bring in the customers while they're having that.
Yeah, in the existing environment, I would say that the only thing would be to inject additional economic activity into the area through marketing, or to access existing sources of bridge financing, bridge loans through relationships with local banks. Some communities have established pools of resources that are supplemental to that lending institutions can provide. Those that have the ability to earmark a portion of the property tax or promise a part of their sales tax derived from a certain area. They have used those tools in different formal and informal arrangements to augment or to supplement that. And that's certainly something that the city of Hamilton could entertain going forward. But in the current business market, promotions are probably the best way to improve and increase the survivability of businesses. And then having good relationships with being creditworthy in the eyes of a lender who might be able to help bridge this current disruption. Those are the two things that are currently out there available. But that does not preclude bringing good ideas to the table and trying to figure out other ways of doing things. Well, thank you for the opportunity.
And we'll have the material that Nathan has provided, we'll have that in the chamber office for anybody that would like to come by and look at that. Any questions for Nathan? Okay, we'll move on into the next portion of our program, which I think we have several that are interested in, and that is moving along into what Nathan was talking about, is the marketing and sort of our plan to go through the holidays. We as a chamber have planned to spend some of the funds that we had previously dedicated for our Buddy Hatchie River Fall Fest into the downtown area. And we really wanted to get an idea directly from the downtown merchants and from the business owners, sort of what you would like for us to do. If you would prefer that we spend that money more so as advertising in general. Do you want to do something similar to a Hamilton Bucks program? This is really just an opportunity. We'll be making obviously no decisions tonight, but we wanted to get your feedback as to what you felt, because you're out there on the front lines, to see what you felt would be most advantageous.
I'd like to know if the merchant says, does the Hamilton Bucks work? Eddie, does that work in your guys that's in the business?
If a little bit, but a lot of I don't know, it generates a lot of sales, you know. We seem like we have a lot of people coming in registering that probably has never been in any of the stores in town, you know, and I don't know if it had the exact desired effect we'd like for it to have, but.
And that's one of the things that we've looked at as a board, is to maybe make some adjustments to that program, to where in order to register for giveaways and things of that nature from the chamber, it would have to be with a purchase. They can't just willy-nilly come in and, you know, stroke their names 100 times like we often have happened during some of the other events. So that's something that we had looked at making changes to. But again, like I say, and it's not like we're putting all of our eggs in one basket. You know, we might do a combination of so many, you know, like I say, a program similar to Hamilton Bucks, and then so much into advertising. So, like I said, we really just want to get, you know, your opinion on what you feel like would work the best, you know, to get people into town. I know, Greg, I think Motorsport Superstore, y'all had suggested, I guess it was Scott, doing a special construction sale, to where, you know, we set aside one weekend or a, you know, certain number of days where everybody, all the merchants in town, you know, wear the hard hats and the vest or whatever, and really capitalize on that. You know, that, just have fun with it. So, you know, I don't know if that's necessarily something that we would want to do through the holidays. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But like I say, just want to get your feedback.
Has a sales tax deal been discussed?
Abatement,
Yeah.
Mayor?
No, it hasn't.
Is that something that we could take a look at?
Something we could look at, but like I say, I can't say on my own.
Right, I understand that, but something at least that could be discussed.
It could be.
Okay. For the construction period, something like that, rough draft.
Encouraging.
If there's, I heard on the radio today,
in my travels. Isn't there some sort of small business, promotion on the day after Black Friday? I heard of something from a national statement.
I think it's a National Small Business Administration, they have a,
November 30th.
yeah.
If you could, piggyback something on top of that.
That might be the day to do our construction, so it'd be the day after Black Friday. I believe that's correct. Black Friday. Yeah. Be that Saturday. Hey, y'all don't be bashful.
I wanted to ask about the construction. Is it going to stop, like, for the holidays, like we talked about before?
We've been looking at it. We think there are places that we can work that won't affect retail businesses during that time. In front of where the Taco Rio was, there's already currently retail over there. We work there. We can work on the on the end that you're not. On the end that you're from the Taco Rio. Over on the courthouse side, the work that we have on the courthouse side of the sidewalk, we have some work to do over there. I think there are some places that we can work that will avoid any disruption to business and allow Ballard to still continue working without being in front of anybody's store during that time.
The one worry is not just the construction. I know they have to, it seems like, there's always got to be a couple of roads closed, and that's what really slows the traffic downtown, according to how many, even if you're working in this spot and maybe up here, if you've got both those roads closed, it's kind of, the same thing as it's shut down right there,
No formal decision has been made at this point. We are looking at it. We've been talking with the city, been talking with Ballard. Ideas are still floating around. We want to do all that we can to disrupt the flow of possible during that time.
Kurt, once all the underground is done, which Drew said would be in probably a couple of weeks, you shouldn't have to close over one street at a time if you're working on just sidewalks at that time. Is that right, Drew?
That's right.
I mean, right now,
All the big
there's people
underground.
working on both sides of town. Some are in the telephones working, power's working, and we're working on two or three different streets at a time at times. But
That's right.
after the next couple of weeks, would you not be maybe just working on sidewalks or something that
We will. We've got a
wouldn't need two roads closed?
We've got a Century Tail contractor out there right now, and he's putting in conduit. They're gonna try to get everything as far as telephone lines. We're shooting to have it all underground by the middle of December. And the electricians are running to the new ground pad transformers that's gonna carry the power when all the poles come down. And like I said, as far as the storm sewer, it's 100% complete, and the water and sewer is about 90% complete, and we hope to have it wrapped up in the next 2 weeks. So it's going to get more compact as Stansel, he's our concrete guy, he gets in an area, the electricians will be there running conduit for the decorative pole lights, and we'll have a sprinkler system. But as far as, major construction on 2 streets like we've had it, the last month or so, yeah, it's going to be more, it's going to start to come to a more compact area.
Any other discussion? Questions?
Has there been any discussion about, special events or downtown, I don't say festival, but I mean just something downtown?
Through the holidays?
In the holidays to attract people to come.
We obviously, the parade is the big day, and that's the 15th, and we're really trying to make a full day out of that, to encourage, people to really get into town and to make a full day of it, and to shop and to hit the parade. And we've really, we have advertised or solicited participants from multiple counties really trying to make it a regional parade. So like I say, people, when they come into town, it's not just to walk in for the parade, but they come, to shop and to, to be here for a while. Really, we don't have anything said at this point in time. That's really a big part of what this meeting was about tonight, to get feedback about special events, or, specific special events, or just to get a feel of what, like I say, what the downtown merchants would like to do.
Well, if you had a number of people coming for the parade anyway, I guess that's where I thought maybe there would be some special promotion. That'd be your day for a special promotion, maybe. I don't know.
It would be, and like I say, among others, but yeah, that would, I think, would be definitely our target. And that's on the 14th, I think I said the 15th, it's December the 14th at 5 o'clock. And we have moved Santa on the square, not knowing what the situation was going to be. We have moved it, the mayor's been kind enough to let us move Santa to City Hall for this year. So we'll be doing that from 3 to 5, but again, like I say, and we're going to run the same parade route that was ran with homecoming, with the exception of running it in the reverse loop. But like I said, we've got just really trying to get feedback, and my suggestion is for anyone that, and I know we've got some folks that aren't, real big about speaking up on camera or toting a microphone, but if you would like to email us after this meeting, it's chamber@hamiltonchamberofcommerce.org, or just go to the website and there's a contact form and you can fill that in, and we'll be glad to, to accept any, comments or questions and refer them on to Mr. Elmore, or to Kurt, or mayor and council, wherever they need to go. Again, we just want to try and make the best decisions that we can make as far as, where to apply some of this money to that's going to help get everyone through, this holiday, especially through the holiday season, because we know that's so important to everyone. But appreciate everyone coming tonight, and again, Kurt, we appreciate the updates, Drew. That's very helpful. We hope that can continue on a weekly basis. And again, feel free to chat among yourselves. But thank you everyone for coming.
Hey, I'm Wade Williams, Mayor of Hamilton. We just had a real nice meeting tonight. Hope you enjoyed watching that, getting some information from our chamber and our downtown merchants and our contractors. Everything's on board to still be completed in April. And we're just looking forward to downtown revitalization completion. I encourage everyone that wants to come shop in Hamilton, please come. We know it's kind of inconvenient with a little bit of parking and construction going on, but stores are open, stores need your business. We're just doing everything we can to support our downtown merchants and wish everyone has a successful Christmas season this year with their shopping. We appreciate y'all watching.